If I were a foreign visitor, I mean foreign like from another planet, and I looked around and I thought to myself, what exactly are these people doing? What is the American government doing? Specifically when it comes to the notion of people storming the borders, basically breaching the borders with no border protection whatsoever. I would say this was an inside job. This was a movement on the part of the federal government, the shadow government, the deep state, whatever you want to call it, to affect and to dilute sovereignty. I would also believe that the Republicans were involved in this as well because they're not doing anything. The last person who tried to even do anything about this was Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a savant. Donald Trump is Rain Man. Donald Trump is somebody who gets it right, but he's not the most polished. He's not the most, sometimes he may seem a bit awkward, but he understands precisely what's going on. The United States has been under attack from within. The United States has been under attack. Let me say this again, under attack from within, not from people from other countries, not from dreamers and migrants, but from people who have basically created an AIDS situation. What is AIDS? AIDS was this autoimmune deficiency was a degradation and attack on the immune system of humans. It wasn't a disease in and of itself. It was an attack on the immune system. It protected those things, that ability for us to stave off regular infections, Kaposi sarcoma, pneumocystis pneumonia. Remember that ability to stave off those particular infections is gone. It's been removed. It's AIDS. And I'm trying to find new ways to affect what's going on. And when we've always suspected that big pharma and the medical industry was responsible for basically stifling a lot of improvements in the world of, I hate to say it, but in the world of cancer treatment and cancer investigation and the like, you also have to look and ask yourself, what are the Republicans doing to assist in this? The Republicans have done nothing. It's almost like they got together and said, listen, here's what we're going to do. Biden comes in, he basically involves himself and effectuates a complete and total border attack by shutting off the immune system. The immune system is the border. It's that simple. We never had this before. People have been waiting to come in forever. But there was this very rigorous and vigorous and strong and substantial defense system or immune system that kept invaders out. So Biden comes in representing this new version of shadow government infiltration. He comes in and he has complicit with him the Republican Party who basically do nothing. And the biggest nobodies are people like Jim Jordan, Josh Hawley, the Senate, the biggest talkers of them all. Absolutely the biggest. Think about how few people really talk about this. Very few people talk about it. The only people talking about this is Trump. It's as though, if I didn't know better, they were in on it. It's an inside job to use that story. It's an inside job. I know it bothers people. But it's like realizing when an arson was an inside job. There were sometimes in retail theft, when investigators come in, they say the cash register person checkout was in on it, the manager was in on it, security was in on it. You know this, and it hurts you because you realize, my God, was I betrayed? Yes, you were betrayed by people in your own world, in your own system. You were betrayed by them. You were betrayed by folks in your system. Now let me say this again. This is an attack, an inside attack, an inside job. Whatever phrase you, whatever you like, whatever works for you. But it was an inside job. And it is so obvious that once it hits you and once you realize it, You can't unsee it. You can't unknow it. You can't unaware it. You can't push it aside. It's startling. This is an inside job. The federal government, left and right, Democrat, Republican, it's the same thing. They've wanted to do this. They've allowed this. There is no way. When you see a fire and you see the firemen standing around looking at it and saying, wow, that is really something. They're in on it. I don't know how to break this to you. They're in on it. It's an inside job. It's deliberate. Left and right, Democrat, Republican, they want this to occur. It's an inside job. I know this just, people are going to they fight me on it. They're resisting. What are you talking about? What are you, crazy? No, I'm not crazy. I'm telling you. It's an inside job. Get it through your head. Because nothing's been done. When you see a house on fire and the firemen show up and they get out of their trucks, they have the lights and they have the hoses and they're with the walkie-talkies and they're talking, but they're not going in. They're looking at it. It's an inside job. They're letting it burn. That's what this is. And they do it in front of you. They have these dog and pony shows, these kabuki theater dances. They bring Mayorkas out, they yell at them. They want this. Now, we can argue all day long about why they want it, who's responsible. Is it Soros? Is it global? I'll let other people decide. I don't know. Many people have said, for example, sometimes the rules of nature don't make sense to you. And just because they don't make sense doesn't mean that they're not true. This is an inside job. We've been set up. And you can call it what you want. And the joke about it is that the fact that we're actually jokingly talking about insurrection when it comes to this stuff, no. The inside job is here, my friends. The inside job is right here before us. That's the inside job. That's the issue. That's what's important. That's what's critical. And it's never going to be investigated because you need both sides to investigate themselves, and they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. So just make sure we understand what this is. We call it what you want, migrants, dreamers, this and that. No. It's an inside job. And no matter how much the right, the dog and pony show, the sock puppet media complain about it, they're in on it too. Absolutely. We've been had, my friends. We have been had.